Hello, my dysfunctional family. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing good. Hope you guys are too. So today I've got a story of a few years ago on Halloween, and I tripped, and they thought that I was laying down in the road. So I'll get you through this in just a second. So a couple years ago, it was Halloween night, and it was me and my buddy, just call him Ted. So me and Ted, we were walking around, just having a good time as usual, and we were crossing a street, and like in our town on Halloween, nobody's allowed to go over 15 miles an hour. Everybody stay between 10 and 15 miles an hour in their cars, and there were no cars on the road, and we were walking out. And like I said, there's no cars on the road. There's this lady walking behind us, and we were running across the road, and I tripped and fell, and I laid there for a second laughing, and she thought I just laid down in the road, like, because I was in the middle of the road. I fell and tripped and sat there for a second. There's no cars in sight, so I wasn't really in a rush to get off the road. But she did not find it funny at all. She yelled at me, was screaming at me, saying, "Oh, I know your mother. I know who the fuck you are. I know both of your parents." And of course, we were pissed off. So I got up, and as we're walking back down the road, she keeps yelling at us, and we're yelling at her. And we ended up going our separate ways, walking opposite ways down the road. And I guess there's these people who help with people crossing the roads and telling cars that are coming into town how fast they should go and be careful. I guess one of those guys, she told one of those guys that I laid down in the middle of the road willingly and just sat there and thought it was funny and laughed. So she walked up, so the guy drove over to us and was yelling at us about how we shouldn't be laying down in the middle of the road, and we're gonna get in trouble, and we could get hit by a car, we could die, you know how illegal that is. And I said, sorry, it won't happen again, because I was not looking to argue with anybody tonight, because it's Halloween, supposed to be a good night. And then later on, I'd say not even 5 minutes later, we were crossing the road, and town cop pulls up to the side of the road and says, "Hey, were you the kid laying down in the middle of the road?" I said, of course, I didn't want to argue with him, say, "No, I tripped, this, that, and other thing." I said, "Yes, officer, it was me. Sorry, it won't happen again." And he said, "Yeah, I know it won't. Come over here." He pulls up into the road that we just crossed, and it was a side road, so nobody was really driving through that. And he puts me and Ted in the front of the car, like where the camera was, and sitting there and just looking at us, just staring us down for the longest time. And he gets into his car, he gets on his computer and stuff, and we're sitting there like, what? Like, we didn't do anything. It was an accident. And of course, Ted sitting there with a lollipop, like sucker thing in his mouth, and he's sitting there sucking on it, thinking this is the funniest thing in the world. And yeah, so he then says, "So, did you lay down in the middle of the road?" And I said yes. He said, looked at Ted, "Did you lay down in the middle of the road?" He says, "No." And he says, "Is that true?" As he looks at me, and I'm like, "Yeah, he didn't lay down in the middle of the road. It was all me. It was all my fault. I'm sorry." And so he says, "Alright, you're coming with me." He puts me in the back of the cop car and takes me to the police station, makes me write a report of what happened, said that if I ever do this again, I'm going to juvie for 3 months. And then he takes me home, and my dad's sitting on the porch waiting for us, and he says, "Well, if he would have just said, sorry officer, it won't happen again." And he said those exact words, guys. He said those exact words. If he would have just said, "Sorry officer, it won't happen again," none of this would have happened. And I looked at him, I was like, the fuck are you talking about? If I would have said that. Like, you're full of shit. Like, oh my god, I hate dirty cops, guys. I hope you guys do too, because most cops are nice. A lot of cops are nice, but there's a few cops that are just assholes. So if you guys liked the video today, hope you guys did. Hope you guys liked the video. So if you have any stories, tell me in the comments. Like, subscribe, and peace.